I'm tired of my toxic parents judging me every day because of my excessive body weight. It's like, yes, I know it's bad for my health, and stop talking about my body scratches, but they won't listen.
How old are you? How old is Morbius?
I think he's 22.
Okay, so Morbius, you got to decide. You know, at what point are you going to stand up for yourself? And it doesn't mean that you yell at them, but if you don't like being around somebody and you're an adult, you don't have to be around them anymore.
I mean, would the solution be just to move out?
That's an easy solution.
But I don't know if that's, you know.
Like, as long as you're in their house, you're living by their rules to some extent.
Yep.
So if you are complaining with how they're treating you, you're allowing it to happen by you being there.
Yep.
So this is the time for a lot of in that age range, you know, into like 18 to 25-year-old range. At some point, you have to become an adult.
26.
What?
It actually extends out to 26.
What's that?
What, when you move out? Why? Who said that?
I have a younger brother who's 26 who's still living at home.
Okay, wow. I mean, there's 42-year-olds still living at home.
Yeah, 30-year-olds. Yeah.
But people go through this where you're creating your own identity. You're blaming your toxic parents for X, Y, Z. It's not their fault anymore. You're still there. If you were 12, it'd be a different story. You're not. You're 10 years older. You're 22. It's time to become an adult. It's time to stand up for yourself. It may be time to move out.
Do you think it's the universe call to action, get a job and rent an apartment or a room to live separately? I believe that Evan is right and I have nobody to blame but me, and I must take ultimate responsibility for me and my future.
Yeah, and listen, it's not about blame. Nobody's talking blame, but responsibility, yes. Because the blame often, then you just beat yourself up like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I wish I'd done this sooner, blah, blah. Like, that doesn't serve you. Blaming, you don't need to blame anybody. You don't need to blame them. You don't need to blame yourself. You just need to do. You need to do something. Whether it's the universe giving you a sign or just it's time for you to act. Go do. If getting a job and moving out helps alleviate the situation, then good. And worst case, it's a test for you to start to being on your own and see what happens. But I think it's great. I mean, you have to learn to cook for yourself. And you have to learn to do your own laundry. And you have, all of these things matter. The evolution. Everybody goes through this at some point. Some people are forced into it, because of circumstances, drugs, abuse, like this, war, immigration. Like some people are just forced into this.
Right.
And then others you weren't forced into it, so you have to choose. In some respects, it's almost easier if you're forced into it, because you have no choice. You have the choice. You can stay there and keep getting that negativity, or you can go do something about it.
I don't really know how I would ever make enough money to move out for a long term and being able to live on my own life in my own, not rented house or apartment.
That's what becoming an adult starts to look like. Everybody who's come before you has had to solve that exact same problem. Everybody. It's just choosing to say, I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. Now I'm going to not keep relying on my parents. I'm not going to take their negativity anymore. I'm going to stand up for myself, and here we go.
And also, if I could add, Morbius, those answers that you're saying, like long term, when you move out and there's an environmental change, your thoughts are going to change. Your feelings are going to change. You'll figure it out. It's like, this is the best example or the best analogy I can give. Okay, everyone, let me share my story.
Oh, it's happening.
No. I'm just going to share the effects of my story. Okay, so here it is. When you move out from your parents' home, it's like you spread your wings and you cannot fold them back in. So you'll figure out some other stuff once you're out there, but you're not going to get those ideas and those thoughts while you're underneath their roof. You have to move out, and then the universe will give you new thoughts and new ideas because you're out there, you're in a new environment, and you got to make it on your own. It'll come. It'll come. And if that means moving in with a roommate or moving out on your own or moving into a cheaper apartment, there's a sense of independence that comes over you. Yes, when I lived separately from my parents in Lviv, at my grandma's house, I felt totally different in a good sense. Yeah, Morbius, you're gonna find when you move out on your own, there's gonna be things about you that you're gonna find out about yourself. There's no way it can be revealed to you living under your parents' roof. That's just the way life is. So that's why you have to do it.
Yeah, and maybe even moving in with your grandmother is the answer. I mean, there's always solutions. If you said I have to get out, you'll come up with a whole bunch of different solutions.
So are you trying to say that your mind will focus on opportunities when you actually set the right mindset and desire? Yes. I mean, Evan always says, which is so true, your environment matters. When you put yourself in a different environment, you're going to have a different set of thoughts, feelings, and actions. Environment matters. We're so influenced by our environments. That's why you have to set up your environment in advance. And sometimes you only can do that if you move out and have your own place. Then you can set the environment, put what you need to put on the walls. I've got all kinds of stuff on my walls. I've got, you set the environment. So when you go into that environment, it puts you in a certain state. Look at Evan's environment. That inspires him. That makes him feel powerful. That makes him, he puts his cape on. He don't have his cape on today, his hoodie, but he don't have his cape on, but he's still Super Evan.
Super Evan. I like that. We'll take that.
Because I think you like Superman. I think you like Superman. Yeah, but the environment matters. So Evan, if you say that purpose comes from pain, does this mean that I first need to solve what causes me pain to serve people in the future?
To solve what causes you pain? I
think the solution is in serving. Just serve.
You have to know what your pain is. Do you have to know where it came from? Maybe.
Identify it.
But you have to know what it is, for sure. So that's where I'm not super clear on the question. I just want to be able to answer it the right way.
You got a few minutes. Clarify your question a little bit for us. We definitely want to answer it. I mean, anything around built to serve, we definitely want to answer it. I don't care if we said the answer before. Repetition is the mother of skill, right?
Yeah, I mean, from your story, it definitely sounds like just the feeling. Like, think about when your parents call you embarrassing or whatever words they use, right? When they call you that, what is it that you feel? Do you feel less than? You feel like you don't belong? Do you feel like a loser? Do you feel not worthy? What are the emotions you feel when you hear that? Because that's the story. And anytime you feel that way, those are the people who you're going to want to help as well.
Yeah,
so
feel the same way. Yeah.
Ooh, the Lux.
Okay, he says, usually you say that purpose is helping others, what you personally also suffered with, right? But
yes.
First you need to solve it on your own before helping others with it.
Well, here's the thing. There's levels to this. You never fully solve it. My biggest problem is still lack of belief. So you never fully solve it. It's always there, just on a different level.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's 100%.
But you're further ahead than where you were before. So you can reach back and help those people who haven't taken the first step.
Where you were, yeah.
Yeah. So look at it more like steps as opposed to a problem solved, yes or no, mission accomplished, right? It's like, okay, you took 5 steps. So if you took 5 steps, you can help somebody who's taken 2 or who hasn't taken 1 yet. That's all. But the journey is never ending. There's a million steps to take.
That's right. What's the old quote? A million miles begins with the first step, something like that. He says, maybe your lack of belief, Evan, comes from the way our brain functions. Maybe it's just a neurobiological limitation.
This is where, like, maybe, or maybe, you know, like, that's where it doesn't really matter as much.
Because you still got to do,
Yeah, like, you still have to solve the problem.
Yeah.
It still is, and you still have to solve the problem.
Maybe this, maybe that. You still just do the work. Just do the work. Because at the end of the day, you want the result. And you ain't going to get there by thinking about it. Come on, guys, more questions. Let's go before I get my pizza. Let's go.
Before I get my pizza.
Let's go. Give me some more questions. Let's go. Give us some more questions. It's been a while since Drew had to answer one, so give me a question for Drew. Let's go.
She does some damage.
Yep. Well, this one is not looking as good, guys.
For sure.
I think you're reaching, Morpheus, but I'll read it. He says, I think if you always believed, life wouldn't be as adventurous.
Sure, but that's why there's never a solve. That's why you never completely solve it. You just keep leveling up.